if you are talking about the Cowboys, there is no more intelligent voice on all of television than the voice to my left, Dave Helman. Been covering the Dallas Cowboys for 12 years now. Dave and I both worked in Dallas in 2016. We were there when Dak Prescott got drafted. So quite literally, of all the Dallas Cowboys talk and jargon that you will hear and that you will read about, no better voice to hear about it than the one to my left. We won't start with you, though, Dave, because we got to start with the Eagles' all-time rushing leader.
That's how it goes.
We got to start with the Eagles' all-time rushing leader. CeeDee, is it a smart move for the Cowboys to prioritize the quarterback, the most important position in football? Is it smart to prioritize Dak before CeeDee Lamb, before Micah Parsons?
That was crazy. You like teed him up, and then it's like interception.
Gassed me up.
And then we talking about Dak. Right? Interception, that kind of Dak. You know what? I'm going to say no, right? I'm going to say no just because of a guy like Michael Parsons is a generational talent, right? And to have a guy like that on your team, it makes everything better about the Dallas Cowboys, right? CeeDee Lamb, another guy, right? Having a guy like that at 88, first of all, 88 for the Cowboys is a different number, right? Only the elite of the elite of the elite get that number.
Yes, sir.
Right? You talk about Michael, you talk about Dez, now you got CeeDee. So, yes, I think you need to take care of these guys because they are your best players on your team. They're a lot younger. And we don't know their ceiling. I don't know what CeeDee Lamb's ceiling is. I've seen a guy from Oklahoma get better and better and better. Now he's elite of the elite, top 3, top 5, however you want to see it. Michael Parsons, I know he's from Harrisburg. I know a lot of ballers come from Harrisburg. But the thing with Micah is, like, not only is he the best player on your team, and he's going to get better and better and better, but, yo, he might be the best player in the league in 3 or 4 years. He might be the best, the number one. So I just think with these guys, there's no ceiling. They're getting better and better. Where Dak Prescott, we know his ceiling, right? 8 years to get a first-team All-Pro, right? Pretty good. Second or third on the MVP voting, that's pretty darn good. But the only thing about Dak Prescott is he will not win the big game when the lights are bright. Playoffs, we've seen it, right? We've seen it this year. We've seen it last year. We've seen it the year before last year. We've all seen it. So my thing is I would take care of the other guys before I take care of Dak Prescott. The reason why is because the Cowboys knew this. When they were going over the conversation of having a contract negotiations, the first thing they said was, hey, look, man, we're only going to go as far as Dak Prescott takes us. And where has he taken them? To the playoffs, great regular season, postseason can't win.
I don't know why he side-eyed this man.
He usually does.
When he said postseason can't win.
Let's be honest.
Dave, before I get to you, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say, because genuinely, I say this facetiously at times, but in all seriousness, when talking Cowboys, I genuinely do not prefer any conversation outside of yours. I don't think it's smart to prioritize Dak over Parsons. Prioritize Dak over CeeDee. I'll get to my why, but Micah Parsons is a generational talent. He is a top 3 player at his position in the National Football League. Through the first 3 years of an NFL career, Micah Parsons is 4th in NFL history in sacks, 4th in NFL history, family, through the first 4 years. You're looking at 2 Hall of Famers and a person in Aldon Smith who is likely on track to do something similar, if not for off-of-the-field issues. He is 4th. Micah Parsons should get his money first and foremost. I understand he has 2 more years to get his money because he's a first-round pick. But knowing Micah Parsons is going to break the bank, go ahead and break it earlier before the bank costs you even more money. Not to mention, if you know anything about Micah Parsons' representation, David Mulugeta, he don't play about getting his clients his. So go ahead and get Micah done. As for CeeDee and Dak, to me, I think CeeDee is a top 8 to 12 wide receiver. I think Dak is a top 8 to 12 quarterback. I think that you can find 8 to 12 other dudes who can do what CeeDee can do, and you can find 8 to 12 other dudes who can do what Dak Prescott can do. They're both really good players, but Micah Parsons is generational. Pay Micah his bread because he's generational. Then if you want to pay Dak before CeeDee, I will submit. Sure. But Dak Prescott, he got his All-Pro. CeeDee, he got his All-Pro. They both got one. I don't care who you pay after that. To me, Micah got to get paid first, Dave.
8 to 12?
8 to 12. I mean, 8 to 12 about CeeDee, that caught my eye, too. I mean,
so CeeDee's not your top 5 receiver right now?
No, sir. No, sir. Had a really good season, though.
That's
up there.
That's very interesting. I actually, in a vacuum, I agree with everything you just said. You would prefer to prioritize the best players. And I'm not going to get up on national TV and say that Dak Prescott is better at his job than Micah Parsons or CeeDee Lamb is at their job.
Thank you.
Micah's top 3 edge rusher in the NFL. I think CeeDee's a top 3, top 5 receiver for me. They should be prioritized. But the Cowboys haven't been smart about this entire thing. They haven't been smart for a year plus at this point because they've known they were getting to this point with Dak Prescott. And this is an argument you and I have off camera all the time. CeeDee Lamb is a two-time All-Pro. It might be, it was second team. He's one-time first team, but he has been named to an All-Pro team twice in his career. The Cowboys had a year and a half knowing that they had an all-pro caliber receiver to get this done, and they didn't do it. It's nobody's fault but their own that Dak and CeeDee are both heading into the final year of their deals. The problem with that is CeeDee, you can franchise tag him, and maybe that's not fair. Players don't like it, but the Cowboys can keep CeeDee Lamb on their team for multiple seasons beyond this one. Micah Parsons, as you just said, he's got 2 years left. You can franchise tag him. Keep in mind, too, Micah in Dallas a week or two ago at minicamp, of course he wants to get paid, but he very nonchalantly was like, yeah, I'll set the market when it's time for me to set the market. Talk about having confidence. Like that guy, he knows. Micah Parsons knows as long, like he's going to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. If not right now, then a year from right now. Of course.
So if you're the Cowboys, knowing that, why not do it now? Because you know that's going to happen.
You've got to prioritize the guy that you don't have leverage over, and that's Dak Prescott. He's heading into the final year of his deal. No tag clause, no trade clause. If he gets to March, he probably walks because every team in the league can now compete with you. You can't do anything to keep him. Might not be able to match considering you've got CeeDee and Micah Parsons to pay. If you don't get Dak Prescott paid by August, maybe early September, he very likely won't be a Dallas Cowboy in March. Maybe the Cowboys are cool with that. I'm just going to go off of everything we've heard, read, seen in the news that they're not, that they want him. So if they do, you've got to prioritize that because Mike is going to be there for 3 years at bare minimum. Yeah, he is. That's just how it works.
But you're not factoring in the nuance of that. We all sit here and know.
No, I get it.
The nuance of the representation.
Sure.
The nuance of Jalen Ramsey repped by Micah Parsons' agent. Jalen Ramsey did not stay in Jacksonville. The nuance of disregard the off the field for a moment of Deshaun was going to leave Houston regardless of what occurred off of the field. The nuance of the Cowboys do not have leverage over clients repped by David Mulligeta or athletes first clients.
I know
that leverage leaves.
David Mulligeta is amazing at getting his guys paid. I understand that. But the Cowboys still have cards in that deck. Would you at least agree with that?
Yes, sir.
They don't have any cards in the Dak Prescott deck. And for that reason and that reason alone, I think you have to prioritize him.
Why y'all acting like this is a surprise? Dak ain't no priority. If Dak was a priority, Dak would have been paid. Dak would have been paid in the middle of the season last year when he was having this MVP conversation and he was in this all-pro conversation. Dak would have been paid last year. We came in this offseason, and there's been a bunch of these little articles, too, talking about basically, is Dak our guy? Do we want to commit to Dak? It's been those conversations, too. Now, all of a sudden, we're talking about he's a priority. You ain't fooling me, Dallas Cowboys, and I'm sure you're not fooling Dak Prescott's team because if he was a priority, he would have been paid because that's the smart and right thing to do. Right now, for me, it's only one dude that's not in the building. Them other dudes have showed up. The dude that's not in the building is CeeDee Lamb, who was a top 5 wide receiver that just seen Justin Jefferson break the bank, and my numbers is similar to him. If Dak Prescott does not have CeeDee Lamb out there, they both might not get paid. Because he needs CeeDee Lamb. So for me, it's one dude that's not in the building. Micah's going to play football this year, which means you have next year in the offseason or even during this season to throw the bag and make him the highest paid pass rusher, right? Same with Dak. At least Dak has not showed us he's going to hold out. Now, he could surprise everybody and not come to training camp, but right now he is there and he's saying all the right things. It's one all-pro dude on your football team that's saying, I'm not going to play for the Dallas Cowboys this year unless you break me my bread. So for me, it's CeeDee Lamb. They have to get CeeDee Lamb done, get him in the building. If Dak is your priority, get him done after CeeDee, and then next year, you know my main focus is Micah. That is my plan.
Here's my thought process, and I'm glad we're anchored by two receiver, running back, Super Bowl champ. My thought process is this. I think there could come a point, and Dave, chime in, where the receiver market could start to look like the running back market eventually. Eventually, a market, it gets so overly inflated that it crashes. We've seen this in real estate. We've seen this in the NFL.
2008.
There are so many good wide receivers.
Yeah.
So many.
And young, too.
And they all young. Because I believe that wide receivers, easiest position to transition from college to the NFL. So many good receivers that CeeDee, eventually that market has to collapse.
There's a lot of good receivers. It's not a lot of great receivers.
Well, there's a lot of Ayuks, Amon-Ra's, Waddles, Tyreeks, Devontaes, Cooper Kupps, CeeDees. There's just a lot. Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs.
You're naming a lot of guys that have gotten paid a lot of money.
Exactly.
Just for whatever
but
that's
my
worth.
point is, at the point in which there are
guys, though.
yes, but how many top guys until the top is no longer the top? I can't name 15 top guys. If there are 15 top guys, that top is no longer the top.
But what I'm saying is, like, the receiver market is, they're never dudes that's average resetting the market. Nico Collins is making $20-something million a year because Nico Collins is a really good football player, 1,300 yards, has a really good year. He's not making $30 million like Tyreek Hill. You know what I'm saying? Same with running backs. Running backs, just because you may be average and you had a good year, you're not resetting the Christian McCaffrey market. You're making under that. You know what I'm saying? It's the quarterbacks that, no matter how good you are, that's resetting the whole market. You know? So receiver-wise, I still believe that they're doing it the right way. This is how we value you on the football team. This is how good you are. You don't got no all-pros. You don't got none of that, so you shouldn't be in this Justin Jefferson conversation. CeeDee Lamb and the Devontae Adams and the Cooper Kupps, the all-pro receivers, that's a whole different conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because those is the elite of the elite.
I do agree with your overall point. Like, I do think there's going to be a bubble with the receivers where maybe there's only 5 or 6 guys or teams are willing to pay $30+ million a year. But CeeDee Lamb is one of those guys.
Yeah, that's
I
what
absolutely
it is now,
think
though, ain't it?
Well,
They
you got Justin,
AJ,
you got AJ,
then
Tyreek.
JJ, Tyreek, then Jamar finna do it.
Look at who we're talking about.
I don't
the
disagree.
best in the world.
I'm saying, but I put CeeDee Lamb in that class.
Me too, but
Absolutely.
you guys, at least how I'm taking it is you're talking about like the Nico Collins, like the receivers that are good but not all pro good is making $30 million. That's not the case at the receiver spot.
I think what Acho also was touching on, Pauls, is that we see all these young guys like Jamar Chase came right from college to the pros and got busy. Right?
Got
JJ,
busy.
right?
Yeah.
Jefferson
Got
came right
busy.
from college to the pros, got busy. CeeDee Lamb, right? He was solid, right? He wasn't even number one.
When Amari Cooper dipped
So
off,
once
he
we
got
see he
busy.
could be nice, we let our number one guy go that we didn't have to do.
Yep.
So CeeDee could be the guy.
Yep.
So when I say all that, it's like, do I got to pay this guy right here all this money because he's balling? Or I go in the draft, give me a rookie, because he's going to do the same thing at a lower rate.
That's
And I understand that's fresh on your mind, but it's been a lot of rookies that have been drafted really, really high.
What about recently, though? I'm talking about
That
recently.
has not
Recently,
been
they
good.
get it.
If we do recently, they all young and getting
for the
busy.
most part, get busy than don't get busy that are first-round picks. Because even think about
So really
go ahead,
quick,
sir.
not to cut you off. So are you saying pay CeeDee last and let him walk?
What I'm saying is,
Because you could find a CeeDee?
Think about what's going on with Brandon Ayuk and the Niners. Ayuk is nice, all pro, hard to do, and all pro on a team with George Kittle, who might go into the Hall.
what's the
McCaffrey,
difference?
who might go into the Hall. What's the difference?
That is the
You're
difference.
naming a ton of all pros in San Francisco. CeeDee Lamb is Dallas's whole offense.
That's it.
It is.
I'm paying CeeDee.
But my thought process is, if you're Jerry, you might think to yourself, because he saw it, okay, wait a second. Do I pay CeeDee 30? Do I pay him 30? Or do I try to find somebody like I'm alluding to and Shady's alluding to, but obviously pay CeeDee if you got it to pay? Or do you try to say, you know what? Do I pay CeeDee 30 or go find another CeeDee? Because he found CeeDee like this.
But
Don't
this
get
is
it
the,
twisted.
this is the thing, though. We're going into this year. The draft over.
Yeah.
We're going into this year, and you telling me that Dak Prescott is not going to have CeeDee Lamb? I can't name the other receivers on the team. Dak Prescott will not have a good year, and the Dallas Cowboys will not be good on the offensive side of the ball if CeeDee is not in that building.
But my thing is, they should pay CeeDee. CeeDee's that good, right? I'm just speaking on, like, he talked about the market crashing. And I was saying, only way it could crash if it happens like that, where from now on, instead of paying these guys all this high money, let's go out there and get a rookie. I'll give you an example. So let's say that they move from Stephon Diggs from Buffalo, right? And then Keon Coleman comes in and balls out. Everybody's going to steal, like, yo, we're going to steal this model. Everybody's going to do that.
That's my point.
That's all I'm saying. So
I think that is going to happen. And that's, like I said, I think there's only going to be a few guys teams are willing to pay at this level. I think CeeDee is one of them. And James, I don't...
CeeDee top 5 for
I don't
sure.
say this to, I respect the receiver position, but, like, if CeeDee doesn't show up, he will eventually. He's on a $17 million salary. He's not going to miss $1 million a week. That's my thing.
Don't give up no money. But
You can tag CeeDee as well. I think the tag for next year, if it comes to that, would be $25 million, which is actually a bargain for CeeDee Lamb. Again, the biggest priority here is the guy that you don't have a way to keep on your team, and that's Dak Prescott.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.